Are you using the best free marketing tool to grow your business to seven figures? As a six-figure business, you've already probably seen the benefits of social media and how powerful a tool it can be to reach new customers and grow your audience. But if you want to take your business to the next level, it's time to step your game up. What's up, YouTube? My name is Kyle Johnson. I'm the founder and CEO of Steady Force Solutions, and we're dedicated to providing top tier coaching and consulting, fractional integrators, project managers, and the virtual assistants you need to accomplish your mission. We specialize in the internal processes of your business. We improve the people, the process, and the systems and your strategic planning so you can take your business to that seven-figure mark. But today, we're going to talk about everyone's guilty little pleasure and how we can use it to boost our business. Of course, we are talking about social media. You know, that thing you get lost in late at night when you got other things you should be doing, or maybe just catching up on some sleep? Yeah, that. It can help grow your business and turn it into a profit machine over long periods of time. Social media is a more powerful tool than it has ever been before. In fact, what most businesses are turning to boost their revenue. If you're not capitalizing on social media, then you are missing out on a major revenue opportunity. Now, I first want to start with a disclaimer. I am not a marketing expert. However, I have worked with marketing experts and picked up a lot of life lessons along the way. And here are a few things that I'd like to talk about from the business owner who doesn't have the money to hire that person or just doesn't know where to start. So before you stop the video and before you go out and just hire a marketing expert, I want you to try these things that I've learned from these experts. And then once you have your plan in place and you start seeing the benefits, the revenue rolls in, then you go hire your marketing expert. To maximize your efforts and get the most out of social media, there are 6 things that you need to be doing. Number 1, know your audience. First and foremost, you need to understand who you're talking to. Think about the 5 W's. Who are your customers? What are their ages, gender, education level, occupations? What are their interests, hobbies, and needs? When are your customers most likely to buy or purchase your product or service? Is it a one-time purchase? Is it seasonal? Are you on retainer or a subscription-based business? All these factors can change how you communicate to your audience. You also want to know what social media platforms is your audience on and what time of day they're most active. This is a very important one when you're really starting to perfect that social media strategy. You also want to consider, where is your target audience from? Where do they live? Where do they work? What the population is in those dominant areas? And then also climate, because some products and services are affected by the climate. Next thing you want to look at is why your audience purchases from you versus another competitor and how they purchase. Is it through a brick and mortar store? Is it online, etc.? The more you know about your audience, the better you can tailor your social media efforts to maximize reach as well as revenue. Okay, cool. But what if I don't know how to gather that information? Where do I start? Great question. Some great ways to collect this data is through pre-purchase surveys, post-purchase surveys, conducting customer journey research, which basically is the life of when you attract a new customer, all the way when they actually become a customer, they make that first purchase. And there are multiple software as service programs out there that will help you get deeper into analytics as well. Number 2, you got to define your brand. Your brand is what speaks to your audience. That's how they remember you and how they recognize you. Now, depending on who you talk to, branding is made up of a bunch of different things, but essentially there is a messaging aspect of it and a visual aspect of it. Brand messaging is the personality of your brand that you display to the public. You know, is it funny? Is it serious? Is it intelligent? These are all little aspects that kind of go into that brand messaging. You got to make sure that this personality is the same across all your platforms. So at a basic level, brand messaging is going to consist of three essential factors. Number one is your brand persona. That's the personality or the voice or the tone of your brand. Then there's your brand story, which is basically how your business became what it became. It tells a story of your values, your focus, the journey in which you grew to offer the services. It needs to be compelling and attention grabbing and retain the attention of your audience. And finally, there is your positioning strategy, which is how you're actually going to implement those two things along with your visual aspects in your market to stand out from your competition. Okay, the other element is brand visuals. And this is 99% of what you think about when you think about a brand. It's the logos, the colors, the typography, all the print work and other visual representation that the brand actually puts out to the public. The important aspect of this is branding is so much more involved in the marketing and advertising than people generally believe. The third thing you're going to need to do is post and create high quality content. High quality content is defined by your audience, and it's things that your audience find as valuable to them to consume. After all, they're giving you time by consuming your content. Therefore, you want to make sure that content's exactly what they need to see. There are three main rules that I like to get my clients to follow, and I think would be a great place for you to start. And it's the 3 E's of social media. Number one is education, and that's educating them on your product or what your solution is and ways that they can start to implement your solutions. Kind of a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, before they even purchase your product or service. Number two is the emotion or the emotional aspect. You want to tie into the emotion that viewer is likely experiencing. For example, my content generally is providing education, but also tries to tie into the stress and the pain or the friction that an entrepreneur or a business owner experiences as they're growing their business. If I can relate to them on an emotional level, then I can nurture and develop a relationship with my audience. Number three, the last one is entertainment. It's got to be something that holds their attention. I don't care what you're talking about. If it doesn't hold their attention, they don't care and they swipe on to the next screen. Now, when we're talking about creating content, essentially you're talking about long form content and short form content. Long form content are things like YouTube, podcasts, newsletters, and blogs even fall into that longer form content. And then your short form content is your daily social media post, whether that's through static visual graphics and carousel type posting, or whether that's through your TikTok reels, Facebook reels, and Instagram reels. Generally, you're going to want a mix of both of those, but make sure your content is relevant and engaging. Don't be afraid to experiment multiple different forms of content to find out what your audience consumes and responds to the most. While most people will tell you long form content like YouTube is kind of like the king of content or podcast or blogs, your audience may not exactly care for that type of content, and short form content may end up being the best scenario for you to implement. Number four is engage with your audience. If you're just posting and you never engage, or you just post it and forget it, chances are you're not going to get a lot of interaction back and forth, and you'll start to lose your audience. Set aside time to regularly respond to comments or jump out there in other groups or posts that relate back to your business or your offerings or services, because likely there's opportunities there to nurture the target audience that you just haven't reached yet. Don't be afraid to ask them questions or share their posts, and just ensure that you're authentic and approachable. Okay, number five is a few basic set of rules to follow. Number one, the most important one, be consistent. You cannot expect results out of something you do once a week or batch out a couple, post for 3 days, disappear for a couple of weeks, and then come back. The ideal answer is you're posting 7 days a week, but in my opinion, I think 5 days a week, some type of content going out to your audience is plenty. If you want to start small, start with short form content, batch out 1 hour of your day to create content, edit it, post it, and then immediately respond to a couple of videos that are in your genre or in your business to potentially engage others and draw them into your account. If you can respond to 5 videos that either relate to your business or are your target audience, you'll be surprised at the amount of traction that starts to build for your own social media platforms. Number 2, repurpose. When you get started, it's very overwhelming to think about 7, 8 different platforms, different blogs and YouTubes and all these different aspects. If you're going to do long form, start with either a blog or a newsletter or a YouTube script, and then turn that YouTube script into a blog or turn that newsletter into a YouTube video. From there, once you've recorded your long form content, you have 2 options. You can either edit that stuff down into short form content or use the script that you've created to batch out short form content. Just remember that short form content is engaging and gives tips and hints, but doesn't give away everything because you got to keep their attention. You only have a couple of minutes. Rule number 3 is do not quit. It takes a minimum of 3 months to start seeing results from a good social media campaign, but generally it takes 6 months to start to see any actual traction or any real impact on your business. Keep in mind that also goes for testing. You want to stick to something for 3 months and then change your approach or test a different way of doing your content. Do that for 3 months and then compare over that 6-month period what performed best so you know what's effective. Number 4, don't pay too much attention to vanity metrics. When you first start, you will see very little to no traction. In fact, when I started on my social media back in December, I had less than 100 followers on every platform. It's now January 30th, and I've probably grown about 40 to 50 people on every platform. Doesn't seem like a lot, but as if I keep posting, that snowball effect will start to take place. And before you know it, I'll have over 10,000 subscribers. It's better to have 100 followers that love your content, believe in your brand, and consume or purchase your offerings than it is to have 900 people who don't care at all. Okay, this last tip is a bonus tip, and it's only to be used when you've done these other 5 things and you've kind of mastered them. The 6th tip is use paid promotion. And when we're talking about paid promotion, we're talking about the paid promotion through these social media apps like TikTok advertising, Facebook, and Instagram. They are valuable things to use, but it is very necessary to understand exactly the audience you want to reach and how to reach them, because this advertising can be very expensive. Okay, so there it is. That's a basic strategy, and it's relatively simple to implement. By following these tips, you can take your 6-figure business into the 7-figure realm simply by sticking to this over time and then adding these marketing strategies into your other marketing strategies and learning from the data you collect. In the description below, I'm going to leave some additional resources that I think would be very valuable to you, especially if you're wanting a little bit more information on marketing research. I'll tag some of my experts in the field so you can go check out their channel as well. And if you've enjoyed today's content, please like and subscribe. Click that little bell notification so you always know when I post. I try to post between Thursday and Saturday every week. Do me a favor, drop a comment below. Let me know the type of content that you want to hear more about so that I can continue to bring valuable information to you to help you grow your business from 6 to 7 figures. Take care, guys.